When no desires remain, you revert to your natural state. Where are you coming from? What have you come for? I come from America, and my friend is from the Republic of Ireland. I came about 6 months ago, and I was traveling from ashram to ashram. My friend came on his own. What have you seen? I have been at Sri Ramana Ashram, and also I have visited Rishikesh. Can I ask you what is your opinion of Sri Ramana Maharshi? We are both in the same ancient state. But what do you know of Maharshi? You take yourself to be a name and body, so all you perceive are names and bodies. Were you to meet the Maharshi, what would happen? Probably we would feel quite happy. We may even exchange a few words. But would he recognize you as a liberated man? Of course. As a man recognizes a man, so a jnani recognizes a jnani. You cannot appreciate what you have not experienced. You are what you think yourself to be, but you cannot think yourself to be what you have not experienced. To become an engineer, I must learn engineering. To become God, what must I learn? You must unlearn everything. God is the end of all desire and knowledge. You mean to say that I become God merely by giving up the desire to become God? All desires must be given up, because by desiring you take the shape of your desires. When no desires remain, you revert to your natural state. How do I come to know that I have achieved perfection? You cannot know perfection. You can know only imperfection. For knowledge to be, there must be separation and disharmony. You can know what you are not, but you cannot know your real being. You can be only what you are. The entire approach is through understanding, which is in the seeing of the false as false. But to understand, you must observe from outside. The Vedantic concept of Maya, illusion, applies to the manifested. Therefore, our knowledge of the manifested is unreliable. But we should be able to trust our knowledge of the unmanifested. There can be no knowledge of the unmanifested. The potential is unknowable. Only the actual can be known. Why should the knower remain unknown? The knower knows the known. Do you know the knower? Who is the knower of the knower? You want to know the unmanifested? Can you say you know the manifested? I know things and ideas and their relations. It is the sum total of all my experiences. All? Well, all actual experiences. I admit I cannot know what did not happen. If the manifested is the sum total of all actual experiences, including their experiencers, how much of the total do you know? A very small part indeed. And what is the little you know? Some sensory experiences as related to myself. Not even that. You only know that you react. Who reacts and to what? You do not know. You know on contact that you exist, I am. The I am this, I am that, are imaginary. I know the manifested because I participate in it. I admit my part in it is very small, yet it is as real as the totality of it. And what is more important, I give it meaning. Without me, the world is dark and silent. A firefly illumining the world. You don't give meaning to the world, you find it. Dive deep into yourself and find the source from where all meaning flows. Surely, it is not the superficial mind that can give meaning. What makes me limited and superficial? The total is open and available, but you will not take it. You are attached to the little person you think yourself to be. Your desires are narrow, your ambitions petty. After all, without a center of perception, where would be the manifested? Unperceived. The manifested is as good as the unmanifested, and you are the perceiving point, the non-dimensional source of all dimensions. Know yourself as the total. How can a point contain a universe? There is enough space and a point for an infinity of universes. There is no lack of capacity. Self-limitation is the only problem. But you cannot run away from yourself. However far you go, you come back to yourself and to the need of understanding this point. which is as nothing, and yet the source of everything. I came to India in search of a yoga teacher. I am still in search. What kind of yoga do you want to practice? The yoga of getting or the yoga of giving up? Don't they come to the same in the end? How can they? One enslaves, the other liberates. The motive matters supremely. Freedom comes through renunciation. All possession is bondage. And what I have the strength and courage to hold on to, why should I give up? And if I have not the strength, how can I give up? I do not understand this need of giving up. When I want something, why should I not pursue it? Renunciation is for the weak. If you do not have the wisdom and the strength to give up, just look at your possessions. Your mere looking will burn them up. If you can stand outside your mind, you will soon find that total renunciation of possessions and desires is the most obviously reasonable thing to do. You create the world and then worry about it. Becoming selfish makes you weak. If you think you have the strength and courage to desire, it is because you are young and inexperienced. Invariably, the object of desire destroys the means of acquiring it, and then itself withers away. It is all for the best, because it teaches you to shun desire like poison. How am I to practice desirelessness? No need of practice, no need of any acts of renunciation. Just turn your mind away, that is all. Desire is merely the fixation of the mind on an idea. Get it out of its groove by denying it attention. That is all? Yes, that is all. Whatever may be the desire or fear, don't dwell upon it. Try and see for yourself. Here and there you may forget, it does not matter. Go back to your attempts till the brushing away of every desire and fear of every reaction becomes automatic. How can one live without emotions? You can have all the emotions you want, but beware of reactions of induced emotions. Be entirely self-determined and ruled from within, not from without. Merely giving up a thing to secure a better one is not true relinquishment. Give it up because you see its valuelessness. As you keep on giving up, you will find that you grow spontaneously in intelligence and power and inexhaustible love and joy. Why so much insistence on relinquishing all desires and fears? Are they not natural? They are not. They are entirely mind-made. You have to give up everything to know that you need nothing, not even your body. Your needs are unreal and your efforts are meaningless. You imagine that your possessions protect you. In reality, they make you vulnerable. Realize yourself as away from all that can be pointed at as this or that. You are unreachable by any sensory experience or verbal construction. Turn away from them. Refuse to impersonate. After I've heard you, what am I to do? Only hearing will not help you much. You must keep it in mind and ponder over it and try to understand the state of mind which makes me say what I say. I speak from truth. Stretch your hand and take it. You are not what you think yourself to be, I assure you. The image you have of yourself is made up from memories and is purely accidental. What I am is the result of my karma. What you appear to be, you are not. Karma is only a word you have learned to repeat. You have never been, nor shall ever be, a person. Refuse to consider yourself as one. But as long as you do not even doubt yourself to be a Mr. So-and-so, there's little hope. When you refuse to open your eyes, what can you be shown? I imagine karma to be a mysterious power that urges me towards perfection. That's what people told you. You are already perfect here and now. The perfectible is not you. You imagine yourself to be what you are not. Stop it. It is the cessation that is important, not what you are going to stop. Did not karma compel me to become what I am? Nothing compels. You are as you believe yourself to be. Stop believing. Here you are sitting on your seat and talking to me. What compels you is karma. Nothing compels me. I do what needs doing. but you do so many unnecessary things. It is your refusal to examine that creates karma. It is the indifference to your own suffering that perpetuates it. Yes, it is true. What can put an end to this indifference? The urge must come from within, as a wave of detachment or compassion. Could I meet this urge halfway? Of course. See your own condition. See the condition of the world. We were told about karma and reincarnation, evolution and yoga, masters and disciples. What are we to do with all this knowledge? Leave it all behind you. Forget it. Go forth unburdened with ideas and beliefs. Abandon all verbal structures, all relative truth, all tangible objectives. The absolute can be reached by absolute devotion only. Don't be half-hearted. I must begin with some absolute truth. Is there any? Yes, there is the feeling I am. Begin with that. Nothing else is true. All else is neither true nor false. It seems real when it appears. It disappears when it is denied. A transient thing is a mystery. I thought the real is the mystery. How can it be? The real is simple, open, clear, and kind, beautiful, and joyous. It is completely free of contradictions. It is ever new, ever fresh, endlessly creative. Being and non-being, life and death, all distinctions merge in it. I can admit that all is false, but does it make my mind non-existent? The mind is what it thinks. To make it true, think true. If the shape of things is mere appearance, what are they in reality? In reality, there is only perception. The perceiver and the perceived are conceptual. The fact of perceiving is actual. Where does the absolute come in? The absolute is the birthplace of perceiving. It makes perception possible. But too much analysis leads you nowhere. There is in you the core of being which is beyond analysis, beyond the mind. You can know it in action only. Express it in daily life, and its light will grow ever brighter. The legitimate function of the mind is to tell you what is not. But if you want positive knowledge, you must go beyond the mind. In all the universe, is there one single thing of value? Yes, the power of love. In self-awareness, you learn about yourself. It is our repeated experience that the disciples do much harm to their gurus. They make plans and carry them out, without considering the guru's wishes. In the end, there is only endless worry for the guru and bitterness for his disciples. Yes, it does happen. Who compels the guru to submit to these dignities? The guru is basically without desire. He sees what happens but feels no urge to interfere. He makes no choices, takes no decisions. As peer witness, he watches what is going on and remains unaffected. But his work suffers. Victory is always his in the end. He knows that if the disciples do not learn from his words, they will learn from their own mistakes. Inwardly, he remains quiet and silent. He has no sense of being a separate person. The entire universe is his own, including his disciples with their petty plans. Nothing in particular affects him, or which comes to the same, the entire universe affects him in equal measure. Is there no such thing as the Guru's grace? His grace is constant and universal. It is not given to one and denied to another. How does it affect me personally? It is by the Guru's grace that your mind is engaged in search for truth, and it is by his grace that you will find it. It works unwaveringly towards your ultimate good, and it is for all. Some disciples are ready, mature, and some are not. Must not the Guru exercise choice and make decisions? The Guru knows the ultimate and relentlessly propels the disciple towards it. The disciple is full of obstacles, which he himself must overcome. The Guru is not very much concerned with the superficialities of the disciple's life. It is like gravitation. The fruit must fall when no longer held back. If the disciple does not know the goal, how can he make out the obstacles? The goal is shown by the guru. Obstacles are discovered by the disciple. The guru has no preferences, but those who have obstacles to overcome seem to be lagging behind. In reality, the disciple is not different from the guru. He is the same dimensionless center of perception and love in action. It is only his imagination and self-identification with the imagined that encloses him and converts him into a person. The guru is concerned little with the person. His attention is on the inner watcher. It is the task of the watcher to understand and thereby eliminate the person. While there is grace on one side, there must be dedication to the task on the other. But the person does not want to be eliminated. The person is merely the result of a misunderstanding. In reality, there is no such thing. Feelings, thoughts, and actions race before the watcher in endless succession, leaving traces in the brain and creating an illusion of continuity. A reflection of the watcher in the mind creates a sense of I, and the person acquires an apparently independent existence. In reality, there is no person, only the watcher identifying himself with the I and the mind. The teacher tells the watcher, "You are not this, there is nothing of yours in this, except the little point of I am, which is the bridge between the watcher and his dream. I am this, I am that is dream, while I am pure has the stamp of reality on it. You have tasted so many things, all came to naught. Only the sense I am persisted, unchanged. Stay with the changeless among the changeful until you are able to go beyond." When will it happen? It will happen as soon as you remove the obstacles. Which obstacles? Desire for the false and fear of the true. You as the person imagine that the guru is interested in you as a person. Not at all. To him you are a nuisance and a hindrance to be done away with. He actually aims at your elimination as a factor in consciousness. If I am eliminated, what will remain? Nothing will remain. All will remain. The sense of identity will remain, but no longer identification with a particular body. Being, awareness, love will shine in full splendor. Liberation is never of the person. It is always from the person. And no trace remains of the person? A vague memory remains, like the memory of a dream or early childhood. After all, what is there to remember? A flow of events, mostly accidental and meaningless, a sequence of desires and fears and inane blunders. Is there anything worth remembering? The person is but a shell imprisoning you. Break the shell. Whom are you asking to break the shell? Who is to break the shell? Break the bonds of memory and self-identification, and the shell will break by itself. There is a center that imparts reality to whatever it perceives. All you need is to understand that you are the source of reality, that you give reality instead of getting it, that you need no support and no confirmation. Things are as they are, because you accept them as they are. Stop accepting them, and they will dissolve. Whatever you think about with desire or fear appears before you as real. Look at it without desire or fear, and it does lose substance. Pleasure and pain are momentary. It is simpler and easier to disregard them than to act on them. If all things come to an end, why did they appear at all? Creation is in the very nature of consciousness. Consciousness causes appearances. Reality is beyond consciousness. While we are conscious of appearances, how is it that we are not conscious that these are mere appearances? The mind covers up reality without knowing it. To know the nature of the mind, you need intelligence, the capacity to look at the mind in silent and dispassionate awareness. If I am of the nature of all-pervading consciousness, how could ignorance and illusion happen to me? Neither ignorance nor illusion ever happened to you. Find the self to which you ascribe ignorance and illusion, and your question will be answered. You talk as if you know the self and see it to be under the sway of ignorance and illusion. But in fact you do not know the self, nor are you aware of ignorance. By all means, become aware. This will bring you to the self, and you will realize that there is neither ignorance nor delusion in it. It is like saying, if there is sun, how can darkness be? As under the stone there will be darkness, however strong the sunlight, so in the shadow of the I am the body consciousness, there must be ignorance and illusion. But why did the body consciousness come into being? Don't ask why, ask how. It is in the nature of creative imagination to identify itself with its creations. You can stop at any moment by switching off attention or through investigation. Does creation come before investigation? First, you create a world, then the I am becomes a person who is not happy for various reasons. He goes out in search of happiness, meets a guru who tells him, you are not a person, find who you are. He does it and goes beyond. Why did he not do it at the very start? It did not occur to him. He needed somebody to tell him. Was that enough? It was enough. Why does it not work in my case? You do not trust me. Why is my faith weak? Desires and fears have dulled your mind. It needs some scrubbing. How can I clear my mind? By watching it relentlessly. Inattention obscures. Attention clarifies. Why do the Indian teachers advocate inactivity? Most of people's activities are valueless, if not outright destructive, dominated by desire and fear that can do nothing good. Ceasing to do evil precedes beginning to do good. Hence the need for stopping all activities for a time to investigate one's urges and their motives. See all that is false in one's life, purge the mind of all evil, and then only restart work, beginning with one's obvious duties. Of course, if you have a chance to help somebody, by all means do it, and promptly too. Don't keep him waiting till you are perfect. But do not become a professional do-gooder. I do not feel there are too many do-gooders among disciples. Most of those I met are too absorbed in their petty conflicts. They have no heart for others. Such self-centeredness is temporary. Be patient with such people. For so many years they gave attention to everything but themselves. Let them turn to themselves for a change. What are the fruits of self-awareness? You grow more intelligent. In awareness you learn. In self-awareness you learn about yourself. Of course you can only learn what you are not. To know what you are, you must go beyond the mind. Is not awareness beyond the mind? Awareness is the point at which the mind reaches out beyond itself into reality. In awareness, you seek not what pleases, but what is true. I find that awareness brings about a state of inner silence, a state of psychic void. It is all right as it goes, but it is not enough. Have you felt the all-embracing emptiness in which the universe swims like a cloud in the blue sky? Sir, let me first come to know well my own inner space. Destroy the wall that separates. The I am the body idea and the inner and outer will become one. Am I to die? Physical destruction is meaningless. It is the clinging to sensate life that binds you. If you could experience the inner void fully, the explosion into totality would be near. My own spiritual experience has its reasons. Sometimes I feel glorious, then again I am down. I'm like a little boy, going up, going down, going up, going down. All changes in consciousness are due to the I am the body idea. Divested of this idea, the mind becomes steady. There is pure being, free of experiencing anything in particular. But to realize it, you must do what your teacher tells you. Mere listening, even memorizing, is not enough. If you do not struggle hard to apply every word of it in your daily life, don't complain that you made no progress. All real progress is irreversible. Ups and downs merely show that the teaching has not been taken to heart and translated into action fully. The other day you told us that there is no such thing as karma. Yet we see that everything has a cause, and the sum total of all the causes may be called karma. As long as you believe yourself to be a body, you will ascribe causes to everything. I do not say things have no causes. Each thing has innumerable causes. It is as it is, because the world is as it is. Every cause in its ramifications covers the universe. When you realize that you are absolutely free to be what you consent to be, that you are what you appear to be because of ignorance or indifference, you are free to revolt and change. You allow yourself to be what you are not. You are looking for the causes of being what you are not. It is a futile search. There are no causes, but your ignorance of your real being, which is perfect and beyond all causation. For whatever happens, all the universe is responsible, and you are the source of the universe. I know nothing about being the cause of the universe, because you do not investigate. Inquire, search within, and you will know. How can a speck like me create the vast universe? When you are infected with the I am the body virus, a whole universe springs into being. But when you have had enough of it, you cherish some fanciful ideas about liberation and pursue lines of action totally futile. You concentrate, you meditate, you torture your mind and body, you do all sorts of unnecessary things. How can a speck like me create the vast universe? When you are infected with the I am the body virus, a whole universe springs into being. But when you have had enough of it, you cherish some fanciful ideas about liberation and pursue lines of action totally futile. You concentrate, you meditate, you torture your mind and body, you do all sorts of unnecessary things. But you miss the essential, which is the elimination of the person. In the beginning, we may have to pray and meditate for some time before we are ready for self-inquiry. If you believe so, go on. To me, all delay is a waste of time. You can skip all the preparation and go directly for the ultimate search within. Of all the yogas, it is the simplest and the shortest.